Hello, today I'm creating a new strawberry bed, and for that I need one of these. I'm Liz Zorab and this is Byther Farm. So I've started this by laying down some of this heavy duty paper. It's designed to act as a mulch, as an alternative to cardboard. Cardboard would work perfectly well, but if you're working in large areas like I am, something as easy as just rolling out some thick paper makes it all much quicker. So I've then got some compost down and just tipped a bag of compost onto the surface and separated it out. Now I did that yesterday and it rained overnight, so the paper has been absolutely soaked overnight, which is great, as has the compost. And then outside the compost I've got wood chips, and these are from our willows taken down over there about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And in the centre I plan to put some well-rotted manure. My thinking is that the wood chips will just hold the paper down at the sides and the strawberry plants will grow in the compost, and the manure in the middle is to add fertility as time goes on. So I'm thinking I'll put manure down and maybe even put some more wood chips over the top of it, just to stop any weed seeds that are in that manure from getting daylight and therefore springing up hundreds of little plants all over the place. The manure will then slowly break down. It's going to be touching that compost, so it'll be feeding the compost and feeding the strawberries. I may at a later date decide to put asparagus down the centre of the strawberry bed, in which case it will have a nice manure base to sit on. But in the meantime, strawberries are going in, and I've got several sections of various different varieties. I brought all of these strawberries with me from our old house, and I know at the top is a late variety, and I think that one's called Florence. Then the midsection is a very early variety, and the lower section, well, I can't remember whether these are early or late. That's what happens when you don't label things. I think I've been quite sensible, and I've planted some sweet Sicily in between each batch of plants to help delineate which group is which. Because I'm not a huge fan of monocultures, I've been doing some reading to find out what plant will grow well with strawberries. And one of those is garlic. And what I've been seeing is that there's been some research in Brazil. Now obviously the climate is very different to here, but they're saying if you plant a fairly thick row or a double row of garlic in your strawberry bed, so this kind of a layout with 2 rows of garlic, it can reduce spider mite attack by between 44 and 65%. Well, to me that sounds like a really good plan. What I don't know if they researched was whether planting garlic close to your strawberries will in fact affect the taste of the strawberries. So my highly unscientific experiment, which we'll get the results of next year, is to find out whether planting garlic next to strawberries affects the taste of them. Let's hope that it doesn't, and that what we actually get is a really good crop of garlic and a lovely harvest of strawberries without any garlic taste. So that I get a comparison, my plan is to leave half of the strawberries at the top without garlic and plant the next section with garlic. And I'll do that for each of the 2 or 3 varieties of strawberries that I've got. So let's get started. This morning I came out and planted some very tiny baby lettuces between the strawberries on the outer side, and the garlic is going to be going on the inside. So down here I've got lettuces, on that side I've got a few lettuce and some radicchio, and I think there's also a few beetroot down there as well. I just didn't want to waste the space, and these poor little plants were desperate to get into the ground. And so to plant this, I'm going to do it the same way as I normally would, which is to make a hole, and plant it as deeply as I can. Now, this is actually going to be sitting on that damp card, but it will very quickly put its roots down through the card. I like to plant my garlic probably even deeper than this. I like to have 2, 3 or maybe even 4 inches of soil above the top of the garlic if I can, but in this circumstance I can't, so we'll go with what we've got. The variety of this garlic is Messidrome. It's a soft neck garlic, which means it stores well. I like the flavour of it. Well, actually, I like the flavour of most garlics. So they're all in, and now I'll move further down the bed and repeat the process. If you've been following the progress of developing this area, you'll know from my last video, which was a food forest tour, that I'm giving each of these rows names. So they're kind of at the moment they're 1 to 5, or maybe 1 to 6. And then they have intermediate rows, which I'm calling 1A, 2A, 3A, and so on, until I've managed to put some rabbit-proof fencing somewhere over there as well. This is the only area that I'm pretty sure is rabbit-proof. And so right for now, this is going to have all of our annual vegetables and fruit in it, as well as all our perennials and food forest. So at the moment, it's just the sole growing area. So I'm just not giving these rows names because eventually I might want to get rid of them to allow the plants in these main rows here masses of space to grow. Alternatively, I might want to keep these and expand these. It's an ever movable feast. And again, I'm quite pleased that we're taking that approach of it's temporary so we can move things around as we want to. The only things we're not going to move around is the perennial fruit trees and the large shrubs. So I've had to be pretty certain that they are where I want them. I do lose quite a lot of time just sitting and watching the view. The hill is absolutely beautiful. I love how the clouds move across it and the sun highlights some sections of it and makes others look much darker. I'm really looking forward to see how that changes throughout the year. I need to stop admiring the view and get the rest of that garlic planted. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you'll join me again next time.